So tonight I watched Fear.com and I bought this at a store for $1, so I don't feel like I lost much buying this movie, but I was really interested because of the fact that this movie gets a really shitty reputation because in terms of and this doesn't really matter for horror movies in my opinion, but critical ratings, this has got a horrible negative reception for this movie from critics, but horror movies for the most part are really negatively treated with critics. So that's kind of redundant to say, but also people who are big horror fans, I've heard, think that this movie is awful as well. So watching Fear.com, I wanted to watch it just out of obligation to say that I've seen it. And watching it, I honestly don't think it's the worst thing ever. I think that this is bad in some ways. There are definitely some shitty ass moments in this movie. There's a lot of terrible moments. But this one was kind of fun. Honestly, I thought this overall it doesn't deserve a 3.3 on IMDb. I mean, that's seriously to me, this at least had some filmmaking inhibition to it, and being a horror movie, I thought it had some cool, creepy images, but it still had some stupid shit in it, so I understand why people think it's terrible, but I don't think it's as terrible as people say, in my opinion. So, starting out with the opening of the movie, we get this guy underground at a subway station, and he sees a little girl with a ball. And she runs out and hops along on the train track, or on the tracks. And this guy goes out, but then his glasses falls off, so he tries to outrun the train and gets hit by the train and gets killed. That set the mood for this unintentionally dumb movie. It's funny because there's a lot of unintentionally dumb moments, but it's a really serious movie. It's very much like these films that Warner Brothers made in the 2000s, these horror movies that really felt very similar to each other and how unintentionally silly they were. But yeah, we get that silly ass opening where the guy gets killed, and that damn little girl just keeps appearing throughout the whole movie. She just keeps appearing and with this ball. It's silly. And the plot is about these two detectives and Stephen Dorff and the other girl's name, Natasha McElhone. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she's really awesome. She looks like real Olivia Wilde. She reminded me of her. And she's good in the movie. These two people are totally fine in the movie. The acting is totally serviceable. It's totally fine. And it's just about these two cops, those two characters, trying to solve these murders. But again, this movie does a good job of being serious, but then being really stupid at the same time. Or it will go from something really serious to something really stupid. For example, there's a girl, who... close to the beginning of the movie, there's this girl who goes and takes this acting gig. She goes into this creepy building, and then guy roofies her, guy traps her, tries to suffocate her, and all these lights are flashing. But whenever that happens, this heavy metal or hard rock music starts playing, and it's just so jarring how they put that in that scene for no damn reason. It's literally there for no reason. What is the point of that silly music? And it never happens again throughout the movie. It's so weird. It's such a strange thing that happens. So again, it's really dumb in some ways. And this is a small nitpick, but so the movie is called Fear.com. But whenever they type it in on the computer, it's Fear.com, and then they put the .com. That just is just really stupid. I think that's a dumb name, or a dumb thing that they put Fear.com and then add a .com to it as well. That's just really dumb. I keep saying it's really dumb, but it is. It's pretty dumb. And again, that damn little girl keeps appearing because all these people start dying, and this little girl keeps appearing with her ball and starts it's supposed to be creepy, but I think it's kind of silly with the little girl. She looks like Carol Ann from like Poltergeist, and like it just reminds me of that, and it's just a tad silly every time she keeps appearing. And again, like there are moments throughout this movie that are serious and totally serviceable. But then, again, more stupid shit happens. Like Steven Dorff is in an elevator. This woman is just in the elevator with him. He never saw her, and he's scared. Like he jumps, like, "Oh, you scared me." She walks out of the elevator. He looks at her, and then it has this stupid flash editing cut where like the movie is butchered, where she starts screaming. The woman just starts screaming. She gets a big mouth that shows images of things happening, people dying, and then Steven Dorff is just on the ground with the camera shaking like this, with his hands like this, and it's just so stupid. It's just so out of left field. It's like the movie tries to be so serious, but then they do this stupid ass stuff. Like for example, like I said earlier, with the woman going into that building, and this guy strangles her or tries to strangle her, and then like hard rock is playing for no reason. It's just, they do so many random things to make this movie so weird. And like again, like I keep going back and forth, but there are creepy images like whenever they go onto the site, like on Feardotcom. I think that it is actually kind of creepy looking. Like it's kind of cool, and it reminded me of like a pre-creepypasta type of thing, just with the images. Even though The Ring, which was close to this, the American version of The Ring did this, where like it showed like creepy images, not as creepy as this, but still. And also, this is also pre-Saw as well. Like it feels like a pre-Saw movie because this character who is killing off these people online is like Jigsaw, where like he's begging, like they're begging to die, and like to where he tortures them until they beg for death, and it's just kind of reminded me of Jigsaw as well. So this does a lot of stuff that, funny enough, I think does lend itself to other movies that are better, like Saw. Like it's funny that they do all these things that I noticed in all these other movies now, but this one, I don't know if this is one of the first that did that type of thing, where like the killer is like torturing them until they want to die, and I thought that was in some ways effective, but the killer guy is terrible. Like his acting is awful. So what I'm saying is that this movie has a lot of stupid, shitty moments, but it has some serious, grounded moments that work. So I'm really mixed on this. Like, it's not the worst thing ever. It's bad, but it's definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's got some bad shit in it. Like, the ending was, what the fuck was that ending? Like, it was just so random and just out of nowhere again. Like, it felt like this movie at first was trying to be a super serious movie, and then like the studio came in or something and said, oh, we need to have hard rock music while a person is being killed, or we gotta have stupid images while Steven Dorff is on the ground like shaking, or the ending where I won't really spoil, but the ending just has random ass, like, I didn't even know what was going on screen. Like I was sitting there like, what is going on? And again, it feels so much like this time period of Warner Brothers horror movies, where we had films like Queen of the Damned, or Dreamcatcher, or Gothica. And Dreamcatcher is Stephen King's book adaptation, but still, all three of those movies are similar to this, where they are very unintentionally silly and stupid, and like they really are trying to be so serious, but then they have a lot of stupid, shitty moments in the movie. So I don't get why Warner Brothers kept doing this bad streak throughout the 2000s. Like, they really did that a lot, and it's just weird seeing how this one feels so much like those movies, where they're just so bad. And like this one, honestly, out of those other three that I mentioned, this one actually might be the best one. Like, Queen of the Damned, I think, is just really terrible. And I think that Dreamcatcher is awful, and I think Gothica is awful. And I think this one's bad, but I feel like it's the least bad out of these three that are very similar to each other, that I thought whenever I was watching. So I was like, this feels like those type of movies. They're just very stupid, but they try to be very serious at the same time. So what I'm trying to say is that this movie is so so dead set on trying to be serious, but then it has a lot of stupid shit in it that makes it unintentionally funny. Or it's just butchered where it just felt like the studio came in and added a lot of random shit just to add it. They didn't want the audience to like think. They wanted to just add in stupid shit just to make them go, "Oh, like it to me this just felt like a studio movie. It felt like there were so many issues with it being serious and then being really stupid with random shit thrown in." So this was a weird watch. I didn't dislike this movie. Like I said, I'm gonna say it again. I don't dislike this movie. I think that this has some alright, honestly fine moments in the movie, but then it's just got a lot of stupid moments where it overshadows the moments that I think are fine. I do like these two main characters. I do like the main plot of them trying to figure out what is going on with these people dying. Like, I like that. It just got a lot of stupid, dumb crap in it that just randomly happens. So, this is a mixed bag for me. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's bad for a lot of the movie, even though there's some good things I like about it. So, this is a really weird movie. It's a weird first watch, but I did enjoy watching it, despite it having a lot of problems. A lot of problems. But it's not the worst thing ever. Quit saying that. I think it's definitely not. And I just thought that watching this movie, I was like, man, this is competent enough in some aspects. In some aspects, it's not. But if it wasn't competent at all, then yeah, I'd say it's one of the worst ever. But it's not. It's got things that I like about it and enjoy. So yeah, this was a weird first watch. So that's all I'm going to say about Fear.com. What did you guys think of this movie if you have seen this movie? And tell me down below your thoughts, and thank you guys so much for watching.